Yeah. So it's getting the feed.
We are getting it?
Mine.
Hi. We're sorry for the technical difficulties we've had. Our modem went, something happened to it, and our technician got it fixed, so we're back. I think you got me mid-sentence when we discovered the problem, and I was talking about our promotions, and generally our promotions are 25% off of your choice of any of the products that we sell. To buy your choice, just one, but for everybody that's looking at it, that's what it's going to be on Monday. So the promotions will definitely be back. Now, I'd like to introduce Sandy Welsh, an online artist on Instagram. She will be painting with a 1-inch modeler in the beginning, and then she will be doing some scratching through with a 3-inch modeler. Thank you, Sandy Welsh.
I'm going to go back to my little rubber spatula here. She had that big ball of dark. And then we'll go over it again with a lighter blue, but this will be underneath. So are we getting to look like this ocean? See? This is really cool. Where do you get them? Oh, I ordered them from Amazon. They look like, where's my big one? I think they're called shapers. I got 2 of them. I got the bigger one. They're not expensive either. I got this one. I think if you just put in paint shapers, this will come up. They're nice, and you can use the tips if you want to sort of scratch out. Yeah, they had a couple different sizes, but I like them. It's the first time I've started using them.
Just running through the
Forget what I'm going to do. Oh. I don't know what I was going to do.
mile.
Hi. This is a painting I did while I was at art school, and you can see the scraping through in red at the bottom and the yellow bands at the top made by scraping through the dark layer onto the yellow layer. The painting is also covered with a layer of horizontal and vertical fluorescent green lines poured across the surface. In the next demo, I will be showing how some of these effects are achieved with our tools. Is this where I go now? Okay. It's been an interesting day. I think that's the first time we've had technical difficulties where we had to stop the program in the middle. So I was not even knowing whether or not we would be back here. Here we go. I don't want to zoom. I want to zoom out. And so I'm going to start with just playing with some of the tools so you get to see what they're like. And I better make sure I'm not using my brandy new ones. There. And there. I think you can see them. I'll bring them in a little bit. There, that's a bit better. Okay. And I liked to be able to know where the center of my canvas is. So I'm going to, I got to mark it somehow. My crayon's gone. Okay. Just going to look at it so I can, okay, I see it. So I'm going to just start with some red. And there we go. Quite a lot, more than I need. Anyway, and this is the 3-inch marker. And I'm just playing on butcher paper. And to give you some idea of how the marks are made for all of those the little videos we showed of the paintings being made. So this is spreading a thick layer, a fairly thick layer of the quinacridone red with the largest mottler. And of course, the main mark that obviously it's the obvious mark that can be made with this is scraping a 3-inch mark through it. So I can end up with a 3-inch square or a 3-inch rectangle or whatever. But that's just scratching the surface, I guess. So these can be used for making very expressive marks, as you saw in the videos. And see, these are just some of them. And I would like to, it's just this constant playing with these every day has gotten me very interested in continuing to do it, because I never used to be able to make these kind of marks so quickly. So it's kind of interesting that coming on to market these products, which I love for many reasons besides making expressive marks, now I'm learning how to do all kinds of things because I'm practically spending an hour a day at it. So this is the 3-inch, and as I said before, it's the blade that's the active part. So, and you can make all kinds of marks which you will never learn how to make unless you get it and practice with it, because that's how I'm learning. You might learn it a lot faster than I do. So here's some more marks. And then you can go across like this. And then you can just keep going and going and going. And so I'm not sure if I mentioned when I was talking about them earlier, these can be used for oils and cold wax painting, and they're perfect for it, except for the fact that if you leave these sitting in solvents, they will soften and you'll shorten the life of them quite a bit. I have checked that out. I've took one this size and I let it sit for half an hour in just pure solvent, the same kind that you use for those types of paintings. Though sometimes you don't have to use such strong solvents, but the result was that the end of it rippled and it got quite thin. And I took it out and rinsed it off and let it sit in water for a couple of hours, and it came back to its normal shape. But it will not do that if you continue like if every time you use it, you rinse it off with water, they'll last a very long time. So it's just a long-term exposure to solvents that is the problem. So I'm just playing around here, showing you some of the different sort of rectangular marks. As an abstract painter, I like these kind of marks, but they're not the only ones I like. But I'm fascinated by the kinds of looks that I can get with this. So, and anytime you go like this and push it through, then you can put different kinds of marks in there too, and they can become part of your composition. And there's often quite a bit of, especially when you're using this butcher's paper, there's quite a bit of fluid left on the surface. So you can take a monoprint off of it, and I've demonstrated that several times, but what I've noticed is you have to be aware of how much fluid is on it, because if there's too much fluid, it'll get smudgy. But we've had some interesting monoprints. I don't think it's the best use of it. I think the actual original paintings are more fun. But you can see how I did a sort of curvy stuff behind or first, and then I put this sort of rigid surface on the front, and you start to get a sense of seeing through many, many dimensions. Now I'm going to just show you an example of how I clean my modeler and how easy it is to clean. I don't use water, and I use water, but it's for soaking the cloths that I use to wipe the paint off. I don't have pails of water sitting around my studio with modelers sitting in it. I just clean them as I go, unless I get going too fast at the end of the show. I sometimes have a couple that I dirtied at once, but that's how I clean them. I do not, it's not that they can't go in water, it's just much faster just to do it this way, and then wash the rags. Now what I'm going to demonstrate is taking, say if you were cleaning your palette, you had a really dirty palette and you wanted to clean it off. So you take it through, and I always overlap if I'm trying to clean something off. And there we go. Now you don't have to wipe your modeler every time, but if you want it absolutely clean with no lines, then that's one of the things you'd do. Okay. So I've pretty much used up the wiping ability of this cloth. I might be able to get a few more wipes out of it, but the other thing I want you to notice here is that underneath there's designs and things and stuff you've put on before. If you've put it on several different colors at different times, you can have quite an interesting design there. And I also want to show that if you're using a somewhat porous surface, like for example, a non-porous surface, I mean, the butcher paper with the plastic, or a painting that has a gloss not a painting, but a board that has a gloss finish on it, or Yupo paper, you can usually go one step further if you want to get it really clean and just rub it with a rag or water. Now, this has been sitting on the paper for a while, but it is possible to get almost all of it off even on this waxed paper. I use these all the time, and that's how I use them. So just leave it like that. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to that. Still got a little bit of red on it. And I'm going to pull some of this back up. Could actually start with a different one. In the right place? Yeah. And I'm going to demonstrate with some of the smaller shapers that we were showing earlier. How are we over? I guess we're going to go a little over today, but not too much. Because we usually allot an hour, and we go up to an hour and 15 minutes, so we can go a little bit over. Where are my other tools? Here they are. So these were the 7mm shapers that I was showing you. Oops. Where's missing? Doesn't matter. Just to show you that they can make marks. And I've done a whole series of paintings with these now that we were doing these shows. So want to erase it, just go over it. Or if you want to keep it, just set it aside and let it dry. So that was, I was just playing with the cup shape there. So you can see it can make it can make a nice, straight, incisive line. And it's very similar to the line that the one I don't have. Oh, there it is. This is the flat. It's exactly the same because they're both 7 millimeters wide. So there they are. And then what I do with some of these, the bigger ones, is I do a weaving. I have never done it with the smaller ones before, but, and then I go under, oops, too far over. It's actually easier to do with the bigger ones. I have more control. I'm not going to do this whole thing. It's very big. So here's an example of a weaving done with multicolors with the big mottlers. So just pulling through, back and forth, light and dark. And the other expressive mark that I like is this one, where you just pull out like that. And I was showing that the other day. I had a little tiny mottler, one like this. No, I can't really, I don't know if it's showing that well, but the long and the short of it is I was using a much darker color and a much smaller mottler. And it looked like this. Oh, it looks like I've almost put the dog's ears up there. I just want to go in and show you how that made such realistic looking dog hairs, because I got halfway through demonstrating this and I thought, this just looks like my dog Iris. We have a blue heeler. She's still a puppy. She's a year old now, but she's still very puppy-like, let's put it that way. And her hair is just all over the place all the time, and it's just about that color. Here it is. That color is Payne's Gray, just to give you an idea. And as I said before, Payne's Gray is that one color that people use instead of black, because black almost always is just so strong. Now, am I here? Where am I? Okay, just want to make sure I'm in this picture. So this is I use this type of little paint brush here. So just trying, let's put Iris's eye in here maybe, and her nose. But her nose would be black, so actually Iris is just a bunch of whiskers. And here's her eye here. So we probably have to leave her eyes as black and her nose is black and just go around like that. And you would eventually get, I'm planning on doing an Iris picture. And I probably will, just because I just love the stroke of this little tiny brush. And anyway, so that's what you can do with these very, very tiny shapers. Okay, so today I'm not going through these sort of like one at a time, which I often do, mostly because we don't have a lot of time. And so I'm going to just demo the 1-inch here. Well, I don't really want to cut out this iris, so I'm just going to go around. It's okay, Iris. I'll paint you later. So now when I'm going through it, you can see this is a lovely, lays down an inch of paint. You get practiced at it, so you get very good at the amount of weight you're putting on it. So that's laying it down, and if I go through and scrape it, just to take the whole thing off, scrape it down from here. Now you're starting to see little bits of ghosting of the gray that got in there. And so here, I could probably do that basket thing again. Like 1, 2, 3, and then go over, under, over, under, oops, over, under. Let's just open that, clean that up a little bit. So that just shows you that repeating patterns become very, very interesting when you work with these. And of course, repeating patterns that you change as you do them, that's what a lot of the work is that I'm doing and learning about using these. The Payne's Gray I like very much because it's very graphic, very dark against the light. It could almost look like a woodcut, and it could even look like a woodcut because the thing about woodcuts, of course, is that the lines are cut, and so they are very sharp. And so I was looking at a book of woodcuts yesterday, and I thought, that looks a lot like the marks that I make, and it would be possible to make paintings, or paintings that look like giant woodcuts using these sharp, incisive blades. Okay. What are we doing? Okay. I'm going to take these two, and I'm going to take a new rag and demonstrate washing them. So we didn't get to painting on Yupo today, and we probably won't because we're running out of time. We've still got a bit of time. So if shortly we'll be able to have a better system of chatting, and we would like to be able to hear from you what you'd like to do, and even have it sort of work as a like almost working on the same things together. What do they call it when you have live?
Chat.
No, the chat is when you have people working, get feedback and show it and that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay. So now what I'm scraping through, it's starting to show some of these more surface structures. I'm going to get rid of this before I get involved in it again. Okay. Oops. So I'm going to, oh, should we show the next video with Julie Pritchard?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of these products are paid for by me. I am not receiving any paid.
Hey, do you want to?
No, you've already cut.
All of these products are paid for by me. I am not receiving any paid sponsorship for any of these mentions. Next up, from Barvotti.com are these rubber scraping brushes. I really like these to add texture and to smooth paint on my surface. They come in a variety of sizes. These two are my most favorite tools right now.
Can I do the outgo soon? What are you doing? Go here, and then I'll go there. Can you do that? So I'll just squirt out some paint. Are you here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I apologize for the time being so short because of our technical difficulties. And I'm just going to say, well, come back on Monday and we'll get started again and we'll have a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us today. Okay.
There.
Am I here in the camera? Thank you for joining us today. You can find us here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Central to do a demonstration, answer your questions, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday.
Let's see. I'm going to go back to my little rubber spatula here. She had that big ball of dark. And then we'll go over it again with a lighter blue, but this will be underneath. So are we getting to look like this ocean? See? This is really cool. Where do you get them? Oh, I ordered them from Amazon. They look like, where's my big one? I think they're called shapers. I've got two of them. I got the bigger one. They're not expensive either. I got this one. I think if you just put in paint shapers, this will come up. They're nice, and you can use the tips if you want to sort of scratch out. Yeah, they had a couple different sizes, but I like them. It's the first time I've started using them.